Ray, you going to be doing a podcast tonight, or should I just start masturbating?
What the fuck? Edo! Fuck Andropi. That was Pedro. That was Pedro last night messaging me to do a pod because we announced the signing of Gary Hooper. Gary fucking Hooper. Who'd have thunk it, eh? I love Pedro. I had to do that, honestly. He stitches me up sometimes on this pod, so I feel like I need to give him some payback. But there we go. Kalimerasas. How is everyone this fine Saturday morning? I never usually do podcasts the day of matches, but I figured that, I didn't get the chance to do one last night. So, sorry, Pedro. Sorry. I'll give you the link so you can jump on and you can explain yourself. You could tell us how many times you masturbated as well. I mean, it'll be quite interesting. Be quite interesting for people to know. Sometimes, you got to brag. You got to brag a little bit. If it's 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, it's fine. It's cool. It's all good, man. The more the merrier, as they say. Anyway, so Gary Hooper has joined us. News broke yesterday that he was the mystery man training with Omonoia. Apparently he was a guest. Well, clearly he wasn't. Clearly it was some kind of test to see if his fitness levels were good. They obviously did a medical. And here we are. We have a striker. We have a striker with a proven goal-scoring record. We have a striker that is aggressive, a striker that has leadership, that has experience at elite level. He's played Champions League, hasn't he? Europa League. Free transfer. I mean, I don't know how long the contract is. I didn't read the announcement, in all fairness. So I don't know how long he's there for. I don't know how much he's on. I'm guessing he's probably on a pay-as-you-play. That's what I think anyway, because for someone that is unfit, that has had a history of injuries, I doubt we would risk giving him like a 2-year deal and paying him 300k a year. Or maybe, just maybe, he's one of Lennon's mates and perhaps his agent is really, really good and he managed to get him a 2-year contract or a 1-year contract with guaranteed money. I don't know, but I'm going to bring on Pedro anyway. Kalimera!
Andro Bireximaris, man.
I told you.
Yeah, I didn't take it literally that you would do such a thing to me. Shame. Shame. I'm going to give you the cone of shame.
Birazi, man, come on. So, Bemo, how do you feel about this?
Well, I'm not very familiar with the player. That's why I was asking you last night to.
Yeah, people were messaging me saying, "Who's Harry Cooper?" I'm like, "Who's Harry Cooper?" The only Cooper I know is Henry Cooper, and he was a comedian, and he's dead.
Okay. So, what's the story behind this guy? 34 years old. I've noticed that he's played in with Lennon before, obviously in Celtic. If I'm right, he
Yep, that's
has
right.
participation in UEFA League and Champions League games.
Yeah.
He was quite a striker. I'm saying was because I don't know his condition at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Scored quite some amazing goals as I've seen.
Yep.
From there on, you should be telling us more. You should be
Well,
more
look,
familiar with
put
the
this.
guy.
This is a guy who made a name for himself in England, but at the lower levels, like the League Ones and League Twos. He was playing for Southend United and Leyton Orient, and he went to Hereford and then Scunthorpe United, and then Celtic spent about 2 million on him, which was massive, But this was like 12 years ago, and he did very, very well at Celtic. Banged in a lot of goals. I think he got about 80 odd goals out there. And then he ended up moving to Norwich City, and then it kind of went a little bit downhill for him. He wasn't as prolific, but I think he's at a level that he's capable of scoring goals, of making a contribution. And I think the most important factor to this, Pedro, is his experience, as I mentioned earlier. We don't have many leaders in this squad. We've got quite a few older players, obviously Yuste and Abule, but we don't have aggression, leadership, and experience at that level. Now, I don't know if Yuste has played Champions League. I don't know. So if he has done, correct me if I'm wrong. But apart from Matthews, who else has played Champions League football in this squad? I can't think of anyone. There's Matavs, maybe for PSV Eindhoven. I'm not sure. Again,
Bruno Brevinabek.
Bruno, sorry, yeah, apologies, yeah, I forgot about him. Bruno Mars, yeah. So we got 3-4 players out of push that have played European football at the Champions League elite level. So I think it's a very shrewd signing. I don't think it's a gamble. It's a year contract, according to the people in the chat. Anyway, again,
it's a year contract. It's 1 year contract.
But I don't know how much he's being paid as well, and I don't know if it's a pay as you play contract. You never know. That's what we offered Ogriasvili, and obviously he said no. Okay, so a contract similar to pay as you play. It wasn't a pay as you play with Ogriasvili. You have to pay a certain amount, play a certain amount of games to get paid a certain amount. But again, I don't have any problem with this signing. And let's get it right. When you think about it, is he better than what we've got in that position? Well, Karim's come in. I think that's a very good signing. Gugu is obviously still developing, and this will reduce a lot of pressure on the lad's shoulders. And then you've got Badadavs. So did I answer your questions?
Was he training? Was he playing last year?
Well, he was at Wellington Phoenix, and he didn't really get that many games, but I think that's due to injury more than anything. But what I will say about him is he will do well in this league because of his movement off the ball. And I think, again, that comes with the experience. We got a lot of defenders in this league. And I'll just say it straight. I look at the defenses for every team in the Prodathlima, and none of them impress me. I can't turn around and say, yeah, that's a solid defense, and it's going to be difficult to break them down. I don't see any of them. I don't see Aris being a particularly good backline. I don't see Buffer being a particularly good backline. I don't see Anorthos. So when you have a lot of defenders who are known to ball watch in Cyprus, they don't track the runners. They just track the ball. They just look at the ball most of the time, which is, if you look at most of the goals that are conceded in Cyprus, it's because defenders are too busy looking at the ball, not the player. So when you have someone like Gary Hooper that knows the penalty box, that can stretch the play, can pull defenders out of position, very similar to what Gugu does, but he'll do it in a more effective way, and he can score goals. I think it's a no-brainer.
That's the next question I had for you. Does he have speed? Does he have? Is he like just sitting in the ball in the box, waiting to fish out a ball in? What kind of play style
when he was younger? When he was younger, he was a very quick player. Obviously, as you get older, you rely more on your intelligence than your speed, and it's what you do again off the ball. I'll give you an example. I watched the second half of the Aris game, and they had that Gogorin, that striker from Fiorentina, and I'm watching him, and there was 4 or 5 instances where he's dropped deep to collect the ball, played it out wide, and he's just jogged to the box, and I'm thinking, if you run in the space, you're going to get on the end of any ball that comes in across the face of the goal. And he didn't do that. And this is what I'm talking about. You're going to get that from Hooper. You're going to get that dropping deep, playing it wide, or playing it backwards or sideways, and then spinning off the defender and then making a run into the box. He's not going to be jogging. He's obviously, as I said, he's not quick. He's not blessed for pace. But it's the intelligence that does it. So I think he's going to be used sparingly. I don't think he's ready to play. Clearly, I mean, he hasn't played for a few months, obviously not match sharp, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some, behind closed doors matches or friendly matches that are set up to help him develop. Or maybe just within training, you'll play 11 versus 11, maybe against the under 19s or whatever. I'm very excited about this. Again, same with Karim. I'm excited because, not because I'm expecting like a shit ton of goals or whatever, but for our style of play to be more aggressive, to be more creative, and to do the basics right, because that's what we've been lacking recently.
Okay. Malist. After.
There's a comment here. We're talking about Aris, we're talking about Apollon, bringing out all these players, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get it. Obviously, it's frustrating because we want a certain type of player. We want a quality player. We want, I wouldn't say an Ononoia, but a player that will sit you on the edge of the seat and think, yeah, I'm excited by this one. And I get it. I get the frustration. But here's what I will say. Doesn't matter how good a player is, if the players around them aren't playing to a certain standard, then it doesn't matter. Now, if Gary Hooper came to Cyprus after scoring 50 goals in 50 games in the A-League, or 40 goals in 40 games in the Indian League, people would be saying other things, wouldn't they? But they look at the statistics and they think, oh, 4 goals here, 8 goals there. Oh, he's okay. But the fact remains, it depends on who he's got around him. Why has he not been scoring goals? Is it because he's been missing opportunities? Or has he not been given the opportunities by his teammates? Perhaps his teammates were shit. You never know. You just never know. Okay, he's had injuries. Okay, he's had a loss of form. Maybe he's had a few personal issues. I don't know. But the fact remains, you can only judge a player based on the players around them. I'll give you Paul Pogba as an example. Paul Pogba at Man United, that's a fucking dog shit. Why? Because the players around him are dog shit. At Juventus, though, when he had Vidal and Pirlo and all these other players, he stood out. So again, it's a team effort. It's all well and good bringing in your Stepinskis and your Gogorins and whoever these other players, but if the players around them aren't playing at their level and playing to their strengths, you might as well just have a fucking dildo in the pitch. That's the way I see it anyway.
Well, what can I say about that? I mean, okay, I guess people have been underwhelmed with the way the transfers were.
Well, I have been as well. I'm not going to lie. And you know, they say you got to trust your scouts, and I don't really think there's a scouting system here, personally.
Εφάνηκε ότι δεν έχουμε. Εφάνηκε ότι δεν έχουμε. Έτσι όπως ήταν τα πράγματα φέτος, it's clear that we don't have.
But I don't know, mate. I don't know. I really don't know what is going on there. I really don't. I mean, we were led to believe that the club looks for players based on statistics, data, analytics, which, fine, great. A lot of clubs do it. In fact, most clubs are moving towards that because it's cheaper and don't have to employ so many people to be traveling to and from. Imagine, you know, a club that's got 6 or 7 scouts and they send them to Asia and they send them to Africa and they send them to South America and they're paying for their flights and they're paying for their hotel. Why would you need to do that when you got a bit of software that can tell you every bit of data about a player, be it how many kilometers they run, how many passes they play, how many accurate passes, how many crosses, how many times they fart? Like, you don't need that. But again, when you look at the signings that we've made, you got every right to question the scouting system. I mean, Bruno, for example, it's no secret that we were after him for a few windows. Okay, we got him.
Yeah, we were after him for about 3 years.
Right. Militic, right? Okay, that one came left field. But again, when you think about the people that were involved in the deal and their relationship to the club, it makes sense. Matthews, obviously, Lennon signing. Barker, obviously, Lennon signing. Hooper, Lennon signing. Karim, again, left field, but there was still some murmurings or murmurs about it. But Bally Hills are free. Okay, Kasama, that again, left field, didn't know much about that, and credit to them for getting that one over the line because he looked like a decent player. He looks like a very, very decent player, and I think he'll do well in this league. Who else did we sign? It's gone out of my head now. Who else? Those are the signings. Have I listed all of them? Have I forgotten any? Exactly. So you look at that and you're thinking, well, where's the strategy? Where's that come from? Where out of all of those players that were signed, probably Gassama was the only one that you could say we looked at statistics and we signed him. The rest of them, it's either players that Lennon wants, that he knows, or players that, okay, it makes sense for us to sign given, the free transfers and given the reputation, I guess. But Bale, like, where's the sign that you can say, right, yeah, we've used the analytics, we've used the data, we've decided that these are. It just seems that it's like, oh, it's not what you know, it's who you know, Bale. And I understand the frustration of fans when they look at Aris, for example. Forget the two players they brought in from Serie A. The players that they signed before that, they were signing players from France, from Africa. So obviously they've done their scouting, they've done the data work. I look at Buffalo, the players that they brought in. Again, it makes sense. But with Buffalo, it's like a Moneyball thing. They bring in the players, they try and develop them, and they want to sell them on. Look at Valakari, for example. They've been trying to sell him for a couple of years now, and no one's going to buy him because they've asked for too much money. But yet that's their model. Okay, Apoel is just throw shit at a wall and hope that it sticks. It's pretty similar to us. Apollon, I can't think of too many players that they've brought in that I could say, yeah, they've done the data, but perhaps the right back from Sporting. They brought in a player called Bar as well, I think, midfielder. And they signed this really tall guy from Bordeaux. Forget his fucking name. So yeah, look, it's easy to get frustrated and it's annoying. It really is annoying because you'd think that with a club being in the Europa League now, we'd want to be spending a bit of money to bring in players. But I'm going to sidestep a little bit. There, Pedro, because I've rambled on a bit too much. And I want your take on this, right? And I was thinking about this morning. There's only one...
yeah, sorry. Finish and I'll tell you.
Okay.
You were saying something now?
Yeah, so I had a bit of a... What's the word? I was just having a think about this in general today. Who do you think is the team to beat in the Pro Athlema now? If there's one team you're looking at and you're thinking, right, we need to beat them, or everyone needs to beat them to stop them from winning the league, who would it be?
كيف كوبودا سيمرا كيف كوبودا سيمرا.
You think?
Yes.
You think Ajax are the team to beat?
For now, from what I've seen in general, yes.
Yeah.
And it's too early. It's too early.
I agree, but I'll tell you my team that you need to beat, that everyone needs to beat for the sake of this league, Aris. And I'll tell you why. Not because of last night's performance, not because they battered the Olympiacos, who are probably already relegated anyway. All right, they're done. They're finished. Done out here. They'll probably have another 3 coaches by the time the season's end. The reason why everyone needs to beat Aris is because of the financial clout that they have. People need to realize who their owner is. They need to realize who their owner is and who the links that he has. If he's able to bring in 2 Serie A players on loan, right? I don't know how they work that out financially. Perhaps they're only paying a certain percentage of the players' wages. I don't know, right? But he wants to buy Saint Etienne in France. The guy is fucking loaded. The reason why we need to stop Aris from not just winning the league, but from qualifying for Europe is because the moment they get a European place and they get Mr. Omilus, right? They'll bring in that European money. They'll be able to get around financial fair play, and they'll bring in stronger and better players. And no one will be able to compete with them. No one. The Pro Athlema is going to end up like Ligue 1, like Paris Saint-Germain. There's only going to be one team. I'm telling you this now. Stel Stradamus is very rarely wrong. Trust me on this one.
Okay, so
trust me on this one.
Really, you're so much afraid of Aris.
I'm being a realist here. I'm being a realist.
Παναγιά μου, εσύ πως είναι τα Nokia του 1821
No, mate,
so that he will remain
it's my
undetected.
iPhone. It's my iPhone, and I've got that ringtone. Got that ringtone, mate. Don't worry. I do have a couple burner phones anyway, and yeah, they are Nokias for various reasons.
Λοιπόν, ρε φίλε, να το δούμε λίγο σφαιρικά τα πράγματα. Okay, let's look about it in general. Let's look at the players that left. Okay. Έφυγε ο Χουμπότσαν. Καλός παίχτης, μεγάλος παίχτης. Έφυγε ο Γκίγο. Έφυγε ο Σέχου. Έφυγε ο Ασάντε, που για μένα εγώ δεν τον ήθελα να φύγει, κρίμα. Έφυγε ο Μποτεάκ, ο Τσέποβιτς και ο Τζόρτι, που είναι παιχταράς, αλλά και η ηλικία στο τέλος της ημέρας. Και έφυγε και ο Λοβέρα, που έτσι αγιώς δεν ήταν στο χέρι μας. It was not in our hands if we're going to keep him or not. And we got Kichos, which we'll see what will happen with him. We got Miletic. Πολλά δυνατός. Έφυγε στο Χουμπότσαν, έπιες Miletic. See, compare the two.
Sorry, my vape stick ain't working. Carry on.
Έφυγε ο Χουμπότσαν, έπιες Miletic στη θέση του. Sorry, αλλά έβλεπω κάτι λάθος με τούτο. Έπιες Μάθιους στη θέση μου. Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening. Carry on.
Έπιες τον Μάθιους, έπιες τον Μπέζους, έπιες Πάρκερ.
Oh, forget Bezos. Sorry, I forgot. That's the one I forgot to mention. Sorry.
Έπιες Μπέζους, έπιες Πάρκερ, έπιες Κασάμα, έπιες Μπρούνο Φελίπε, έπιες Ανσαριφάτ. Εντάξει. Που γίνος που, from my point of view, from the players that left, they had to go for one or another reason. Okay? Now, for the players that came, if I do not consider Bruno Felipe, Kasama, Bezus, and Ansarifat as a top shelf players, then pass. And then if I go to the rest of them, Miletic, Parker, and Matthews, they're very good football players, and they seem to be getting into the spirit of the team, even though it's a bit early. The one that I think still needs some time is Parker, but Miletic and Matthews, they seem to have gotten into the team and understand how things are going. So, in comparison from last year's roster, that φάνηκε ότι δεν είμαστε δυνατοί. Φάνηκε τελικά ότι δεν είμαστε δυνατοί. I believe that this year we appear to be stronger than last year. I don't know what you think.
Ability-wise, yeah. I mean, if you deep it, obviously Yordi is gone, so Kasama's come in. As much as I love Yordi, you got a younger player here with just as much creativity. Bezos has come in, you can say, possibly to replace, I don't know what, Duris, I guess. So you got Ukraine international there, that's younger. The forward line, all right, Matavs is still there, but they brought in Karim, which I guess, again, a little bit of an upgrade to Shepa. Hooper's come in. Who was another? Did we have another centre forward last season? It was Dura, Shepa, and Matavs, wasn't it? And then Dura left and Dago, obviously. On the left, okay, Eric. Eric's 34, 35, with blighted by injury.
Yeah, good
luck to him. Good luck to him, man. Good luck to him. So yeah, you could say Barker is 10 years younger, but he's got his injury problem. So again, that one's still up in the air. Shehu, as much as I loved him, defensively, he was a calamity. I'm just going to say it. He had so many mistakes in him, but I think Matthews is a better fullback. So yeah, we're better there. Left back, we brought in the kid from Olympiacos. All right, it's difficult to say whether he's going to be better than Kiko, but is he going to get many games? Militic, yeah, I'll take him over Huberchan, 100%. So in terms of obviously, who else did we win? Bruno, is he an upgrade on Ernest? That remains to be seen. As far as I'm concerned, it remains to be seen because I haven't seen anything of him given the last game.
I'm telling you, man, 7 to 8 goals this year. That guy, I'm telling you.
All right, okay, but what I'm saying is I'm basing this on Saturday's performance. So while everyone was shit,
no, man, I'm not gonna judge him from a first game with an unknown team and
unknown team. Unknown team. I thought he had a blinder against Ghent in the number 10, but then you put him out wide against a team with a low block and he goes missing.
Yeah. Did you see anyone being good? So I'm not gonna.
Matthews had a good game. Zahario had a good game, I think, and people are going to disagree again.
In general, was the team good? No, it was not. It was
no.
Shit.
In general, no.
So I'm not gonna blame one player for the last week's. Anyway, history is history. In general, I believe that the transfers we have made, according to the players that left, okay, it's not bad. It could have been better, but it's not bad, for God's sakes. Yeah,
there's one for you. Answer this one. I need to go get another vape stick. 1 minute. I'm just going to put my camera off. You answer this one.
You mentioned 3 wingers leaving. We only got one, Barker and maybe Bruno. Plus, we lost Marinos last year mid-season. We need at least one winger more. Αθήμε μου, να μην ξεχνούμε ότι έχουμε και τους Κυπραίους μας. Ναι, έχεις δίκιο Μπασέτο τον Πουλαλής, ότι πιάμε μόνο ένα. Αλλά έχουμε και τους Κυπραίους τους παίχτες μας που φτιάχνουν πάνω. Να μην το ξεχάνουμε το πράγμα. Δεν ξέρω... να μην το θεωρούμε ότι τα άτομα που εφίαν πιάμε παίχτες για να τους αντικαταστήσουμε τσίνους. Γιατί είχαμε και άλλες θέσεις που είχαμε αδυναμίες. Και πιάμε παίχτες για αυτές τις αδυναμίες. Όπως στην επίθεση, ας πούμε. Τώρα, λογικά, όπως έγιναν τα πράγματα, πάντως έχουμε 4 επιθετικούς. Έχεις το Μάταβς, τον Ανσαριφάτ, έχεις το Hooper και έχεις και τον Κακουλή. Πεσί δεν είχαμε το πράγμα. Πεσί είχαμε Μάταβς, είχαμε το Τσέπο και είχαμε και τον Κακουλή. Επομένως, να μην τα βλέπουμε απλά εφίαν από την τάδε θέση και ήρθα στην τάδε θέση. Γιατί έχουμε και τους παίχτες τους δικούς μας, τους Κυπραίους, που αποδείξαν ότι μπορούν να σταθούν στις διάφορες θέσεις. There you go. That's what I think about it.
I think there's something else that we need to consider here. Signing Hooper adds another striker to the squad. And obviously we can make 5 substitutions. So perhaps, if you think about it, the other day against Agrida, once Guggle went off, it was either play Matavs up front, which he chose not to do, which shows me he doesn't really rate him, or play someone out of position as a number 10, as a number 9, apologies, as a number 9, and just hope for the best. Now we have an additional striker, so we do have another striker that we can bring on. And on top of that, we can change the system. Instead of going 4-2-3-1, we go 4-4-2. Or we could go 4-3-3. Or we could go 3-5-2. Or 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-2-1. So you have another player, you have another body, but you have another player where you can change your system and throw someone on if you need a goal in the last 20 minutes. Personally, I think it's a no-brainer. Again, if it's a 1-year deal for a player with that experience, I don't see where we can go wrong. I mean, people were getting pissed off when Jordi didn't. Well, they were saying that Jordi should sign a new contract, and people were really quiet. Then we won the Brodathlima, and then he signed it, and everyone was happy. You know? So, for all we know, he might come on his debut in a few weeks' time and score 2 goals. Yeah, he's a hero. I'm just a little bit concerned that about that right-hand side of ours. You know, and obviously I love Zaha. I love him to bits. But for me, he's one of those players where he will do well in games, in the derby games. Like your Apollon, your Apoel. games where you're going to sit deep and try hit teams on the counter attack, because he's really good at that. He's really good at getting forward on the from, I don't know, 10 to 20 meters on the sprint. He's very good at that. But against teams that play a low block, as I said, with Agrida and most of the teams that we're going to play this season, especially like the lower half of the table, they can put 10 men behind the ball and say, break us down. This is where you need that creativity.
Exactly.
This is why Barker had a pretty decent game the other day, because he was running at players, he was trying to create. And Bruno, on the other hand, I'm concerned if he goes out wide against these teams, because he just seems that he doesn't have an idea.
Βλέπω να κάνω comment για δύο σχόλια. Ένα που είδα από το Μάριο μας. Ναι, έχεις δίκιο, Μάριε. Ο κόσμος είναι σίγουρος για το βάθος που έχουμε ακόμα. Μαζί τους, πολλής ο κόσμος που έχει το ερώτημα, αλλά δεν είμαι σίγουρος ότι γενικά οι ομάδες έχουν και το... Ναι, πιάσαν όλοι οι παίχτες, αλλά δεν μπορώ να πω ότι είδα και πολύ βάθος που τους υπόλοιπους. So, it's a marathon. Μην ξέρετε ότι να παίξουμε 50 παιχνίδια φέτος εμείς. 50. Yeah, they could have prepared a little bit better having that in mind. Αλλά δεν μπορώ εγώ, ρε παιδιά, να τους κρούσω που τα τώρα, να τους πω δεν έκαμε τίποτε. Ότι έφεραν παίχτες, έφεραν. Ότι μπορούσαν να φέρουν καλύτερους παίχτες, μπορούσαν να φέρουν καλύτερους παίχτες. Ότι μπορούσαν να κινηθούν πιο γλύωρα στη μεταγραφική περίοδο, ναι, μπορούσαν, δεν το έκαναν. Οκ, έτσι είμαι και μες στη διοίκηση για να ξέρω να που σκέφτονταν και να που ήθελαν να κάνουν και αν τους ευκήγεν και αν δεν τους ευκήγεν. Είχαμε την υπόθεση με τον Καραγιώση και τον άλλον τον Άχρηστο, που τον επιάνναμε να λέμε wow, μεταγραφάρα και να μην μας την έκατσε ο Γάδαρος. And that's a proper insult to Gadaros when we talk about that guy. Anyway, and the other comment I wanted to talk about is Rodaos Odiris. Is Loizos available to play tonight? I think yes, he is.
Well, he should be available.
Yes, he is.
He should be. He's picked up any injuries.
This week he's been training with the first team normally. So most probably you're going to see him in the game tonight.
Yeah, this one shut yesterday, mate. Shut last night. Second, wasn't it? Like the optimism, but I forget we should take 3 points even on days we're not that good. Well, yeah, I agree. It's called winning ugly. You know, we just don't seem to have that right now. But again, you need to grind out victories against these teams. You know, I can keep saying that the pitch was atrocious against Akrida. It was. They watered it before the game.
Ethan,
at half time.
And I don't know if you know Stel, but
luck on, mate.
Η διοίκηση του Ακρίτα ευκήγεν και είπαν ότι ναι, έχει δίκιο η Ομόνια που έχει παράπονο. It was because they watered the half of the pitch for the second half and it became a shit, and they said it was not intentional, that something went wrong and la la la.
But not intentional. What a load of bollocks.
What
a load of bollocks.
I'm just going to say, at least they came out and said it. Okay.
They were watering that pitch, right, for at least 10 minutes before the game. At least 10 minutes before the game. We're not talking about like an hour before the game they watered it, or 20 minutes. It was literally 10 minutes before kickoff. They're still watering the fucking pitch. And then at half time, the sprinklers came on.
On the side that we were attacking. Yeah.
And they say it's a mistake. Let me tell you something, yeah? I saw that ball rolling, and I'm like, it's either going to get stuck in the turf, right? Or it's gonna just, you know, fizz. And 9 times out of 10, the ball's stuck. That's why we're playing a lot of diagonal balls high, because you can't keep it on the pitch. I'm surprised that players weren't slipping and sliding all over the place. Honestly, it's like Waterworld. He thought it was a fucking water park.
I think he said it was for tactical reasons that they did that.
Of course it is. Of course it's tactical reasons.
For me, yes, it was. But I didn't hear that. I heard that, okay.
I know there have been clubs, even in the Premier League, what they do, they look at their opponents, right? And let's say, for example, the biggest threat is on the wings. What they'll do, they'll cut the grass through the middle of the pitch and they'll leave it a few centimeters longer on the flanks, on the wings, to slow the ball down when you're running. This is standard. This is standard. Utterly, it's fucking bog standard. But what it is, it's fucking cheating. Right, and I'll tell you another thing. If you look at the pitch at the Sirio yesterday, it might as well have been a Comodoro, man. Honestly.
Oh yeah, but it was not. Both teams complained about it. It's not like they were trying to do that in favor of either of the two teams.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, it's a season that's just started, and the pitch looks like it's been played on for about 5 years straight without being looked after. I mean, I'm thinking that they're probably thinking, I'll give a shit because the new stadium is being built and it's going to be ready soon. So,
you want to talk about something else?
Dimitri, spazita hidiamu, man. This is the third time I'm asking you. All right, well, I'll get onto it, man. Just be fucking patient. Jesus Christ, like, you know. Right, Rogic. I'll tell you about Rogic, right? Because it was a big bam on social media yesterday, and this is something that I wanted to break to everyone, because some time ago, I said to you lot, do not believe everything that you read in the press, especially in Cyprus when it comes to transfers. Because I've seen us linked with practically every player and their mum, right? Every player and their mum, okay? And what annoys me about the press in Cyprus is what they will do, someone will break a story and other websites will quote that particular website. They'll say, oh, you know, there's a story breaking about this player, that player from this website. They don't do their own research. Like, you know, I get it. Like, you want the clicks because you've got your adverts on the page and the amount of clicks that you get paid based on those adverts. I get it, right? But it's just lazy. And people get their hopes up because, all right, don't get me wrong, I don't blame the websites for doing this because it works, clearly, right? But you got a lot of people that go in these forums and say, oh, we're linked with that player. We're linked with that player. When Kazama came to Cyprus, he was at the fucking airport, right? People took a photograph of him, put him on the website, and they thought it was there. Fuck, do your research. What is this? Zay's back in Cyprus. What, just because he's black? He's the same person? Is that the only similarity? That he's black? Honestly, we were linked with Koulibaly. Koulibaly this, Koulibaly that. Never going to happen. He ended up at Red Star Belgrade, right? Let me tell you something, right? I've got another Instagram. Sorry, I've got another Twitter account, right? It's a podcast that I've been doing for many years. We've had some great guests on. We've had Yanagobolos, Gatsorani, Emil Heskey. So many people. I mean, we've been doing it for like fucking 12 years, right? Rodri Giggs is my co-host. He's a good friend of mine. We get loads of people on, and it's a very, very powerful tool to have a Twitter account with over 5,000 followers and so many people with blue ticks following you, right? Because we built up that reputation. There's 5 of us controlling that account, right? There's me, there's my friend that's in London. I've got a friend in the United States that has that account, that he uses it, because obviously we follow the MLS, or should I say MLS, and the Canadian League. I've got a friend in Australia who covers the A-League that has his own contacts out there. And I've got a friend in mainland Europe who does a lot of tweets during the day or puts out retweets, whatever. Okay. So we had a conversation the other day, and my friend in Australia says, look, I've heard that Omonoia are interested in Rogic. I've heard that there has been discussions, but nothing concrete. Okay. And I was like, well, what else you know? Because that's all I know. It says, well, tweet out something related to Rogic, right? Because I want to test the water. I want to do a social experiment. Yeah, I want to do a social experiment. I want you to put out a tweet related to Rogic, any information that you know, but make sure you say it's a rumor. Now, Pedro, your Greek is clearly better than mine. Can you explain to our Greek-speaking viewers the translation from rumors from English to Greek, please? Just to explain to them what rumor is in Greek. Not the nightclub.
Βασικά, μια φημολογία ότι για το Ρότι και να το γράψει ότι φημολογία, ότι δεν είναι αλήθεια. Για να δει Ίνδαλος να αντιδράσει ο κόσμος.
Right. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna bring up on the screen because Dimitri again says info came from the Shoot the Defense Media Network. Who do you think the Shoot the Defense Media Network is? See, people were saying that Stel is a puppet. Who had who on strings yesterday? There you go. Who had who on strings? I ain't Pinocchio, I'm Geppetto. Anyway, so let me just bring this up because, oh my God, honestly, like the logic behind people. Right, so this was the tweet, which I told my mate to put out. Gary Hooper was training as a guest with Omonoia yesterday. According to reports, Neil Lennon invited the player to train with the first team to build up his fitness. Were there any lies there?
No.
Right, but he ended up signing. Okay, but this blew up. And then there was the Rogic one. I mean, I can't find it because there was so many stuff about it. But there's a let me find it. Let me read it. Let me read it out because I'm too tired to be doing any research. Hooper could sign a 1-year deal on a pay-as-you-play basis due to his lack of fitness and form. That was 22 hours ago, so that made it. What time is that? It's 24 hours ago was 10 o'clock UK time. So that'll be 8 o'clock UK time, 10 o'clock Cyprus time. So 10 o'clock yesterday morning, we put out the tweet. He could sign a 1-year deal. How many years did he sign the contract for, Pedro?
Δεν ξέρω.
It was a 1-year contract he signed, Hooper.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
so did we get that wrong? Okay. Yes. Hooper might. Can you explain the word might? Bori. Thank you. Might also be joined by another former Celtic player, Tom Rogic. Rumor has it Rogic has agreed the 2-year deal and should sign before their deadline. Free transfers tonight. Exactly. So there was no concrete proof, but the fact that we use the word rumor has it, it's a rumor.
No. When you do that, people in Cyprus don't see the rumor part. They see
exactly.
Oh, he's going to sign a 2-year contract.
Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. So people getting angry at Shoot the Defense because they want clicks. Let me tell you something about this podcast that I've been doing for 12 years, yeah? We have been top 5 in Cyprus. These are the Apple charts, yeah? Estonia, Argentina, UK, America. This is for the past 12 years. We've been in the charts for years. The network, we've got Inter Milan podcast, we've got a Olympiacos podcast, we've got Estonian football, we've got Ukrainian football, we've got various. It's a pretty decent platform. And that's how I managed to get guests for this podcast as well, because I use that as the platform to promote this pod, to get these guests. For not just for me, for your viewing pleasure. This is what differentiates us from the others. We think outside the box. We use our contacts. We use our people. And this isn't me like making it as a dick measuring contest. This is me proving a point that you don't believe everything that you read. People are like, oh, it's Shoot the Defense Media Network. It's not from Cyprus. Yeah, it's not from Cyprus. It's from me and my friends. This is what's doing it. So it just blows up because people believe everything that they read. And it goes back to the lazy journalism from some, not all outlets, some. Yeah, some of them. Because they don't do their own research. When I read an article about a news story or a footballer possibly signing, the first thing I always look for is a quote, be it from an agent, be it from a family friend, a source, a quote. Because at least that way you have a rough idea as to what is happening. But whenever I see a transfer rumor involving a player, especially coming to Omonoia, I look at it and I'm like, first of all, is it realistic? Is it realistic that this player is going to come to Cyprus and play for us, regardless of whether we are Europa League or Conference League or whatever? Are they going to do it? If it is, if there's a possibility, then you move on to the next one. Well, where's the link? Who's his agent? Has his agent done business with us before? Then you know that obviously we've got a good relationship with the agent, so we're more inclined to be doing business with that agent to bring in these players. Then the next thing I look for is, well, what about the salary? What about are we willing to pay that much? If it's realistic, then you move on. So there's layers. You got to think about it. You got to think logically. But I see on internet forums, on Facebook, on these app walls. We're going to sign this player. We're linked with that player. Where's the evidence? Where is the correlation? Where is the link? Where's it come from? This is what I'm saying. This was a social experiment, and it proved me right again. And I think the other thing is, which again I apologize for leading you guys on, or whoever believed it, I apologize for that. And it gives people a full sense of hope. And this is why these websites get clicks, and this is why they're all happy to post any kind of fucking rumor, because people will click on it and they'll have vendors and they'll put. I saw someone on Facebook the other day saying, "Yeah, I heard Rogic is in Cyprus." What do you mean you heard he's in Cyprus? A friend of mine saw him at the airport. Oh my God, is this really?
Ο ανυψιός αφής του θκιού μου της αφής μου, ρε. Is that story?
So yeah. Anyway.
One comment. I don't know if you want to go on for longer.
Listen, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Really okay. Something that happened yesterday and we really should talk about.
My scab has come off.
Sorry?
I had the scab on my foot and it's come off.
Fado?
Nah. Demo.
It's a Nicolas is making a good point. Nicolas Hajisava.
Wait. He's made two. He made the one about VAR and
the second one. The second one. It was he beat me to it. It was something that I wanted to talk to you about earlier. I don't know if you heard what happened yesterday. Still,
there's a statement put out because someone at GOP threatened us because of our comments made about or Len made comments about the refereeing or GOP or something along those lines, and he kindly reminded us we had 3 red cards and all that kind of shit, whatever.
Δηλαδή, βασικά, προσπαθούν να μας τρομοκρατήσουν ποτά τώρα. Πώς γίνεται? How is it possible? You have a coach talking in your team's channel. He's looking like it was at the press conference after the game or whatever. It's been days from the previous game. And he was talking about the preparation of the team for today's game, and he wanted to mention this story. Okay, κάνετε like, ρε, με σας πάρει ο δαίμονας, όπως λέει και ένας αρχηγός. Fuck, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. 5 hours after the small clip came out, FC TV, ευκήγεν ο αθλητικός εισαγγελέας, ο αθλητικός δικαστής, ήταν φκιάλο μαύρο, είναι τόσο καμπανόγαρος, and he said, this is the last warning for the Omonoia coach. You are not allowed to talk about things like that. Fuck you, and your whole fucking race, and those that you support, motherfucker.
Do you know what it is, right? It's the I think it's more like a European or Mediterranean mentality where it's like you've got to respect authority. And yeah, I agree.
I respect any authority that is worth the respect. Not every motherfucker that comes around.
Thank you very much. You let me tell you something, right? Out here in the UK, we have a problem, right? We have a problem being the police. The police aren't shown any respect because over the years, they've lost that respect, the way that they've been behaving or conducting themselves, right? We practically have a lawless UK, right? A 9-year-old girl was shot in her own house, right? 9 years old, because it was a revenge killing, right? The shooter decided to kill the daughter, not the dad, right? But what's been done about it? Nothing's been done about it. Well, yeah, sure, there's an investigation or whatever, but has anything been done about it? No one cares out here. No one cares. The other day we had kids robbing a shop on Oxford Street, the busiest place in London. Kids robbing a shop. Nothing was being done about it. They don't care. Everywhere you go in London, there's stabbings, there's shootings, there's drug dealing going on. No one cares. right? They do what they want because the police can't do anything about it, because they refuse to do anything about it. But what they will do, they'll go to Notting Hill Carnival and they'll do their dance routines. Yeah, the police are cool now. They're doing dance routines. Motherfucker, you should be policing the place, right? Authority, you lose the respect for authority when they don't do their job properly. And this is the same with GOP, right? They're an authority. They're meant to be impartial. They're meant to be doing their jobs to look after the league, the integrity of the league, whatever's left of it anyway. But what they do is they pick sides because of the pares, because of who you know, because of the nepotism, because of the politics, right? And what they're trying to do, as you quite rightly said, they're trying to shoot us in the foot. But see, this is the thing. And I will say this at the risk of being chastised and vilified and people coming at me on social media. We have arguably the biggest fan base in Cyprus. But yet the majority of the time, we sit on our hands and let it happen. We complain on social media, we complain on websites, but we don't actually do anything about it. Why aren't we turning up to GOP's offices and protesting? Why aren't we fucking finding out where these people live and set fireworks outside their house at 2 o'clock in the morning? Why are we making their lives difficult? I'll tell you this for now. We had the London riots. We had the London riots where thousands upon thousands of people decided, fuck this shit. We had enough. Strength in numbers. And while I don't condone that, I can understand why people became frustrated. Where a person was shot by the police. He didn't have a weapon on him, but they shot him because they thought that he had and that's where it all started. But out here, or should I say in Cyprus, it's like, yeah, we'd rather moan about it than do something about it. Make their lives hell. That's what I say. Prank call them. Shit in their letterboxes. Do all sorts of stuff. It's a small world. Cyprus is a small, small island. It's time to start instilling fear in people. Shit them up. If you want to treat us like shit, well, we'll give it back to you. Do you know what? This is one of the reasons why I regret not living in Cyprus. Because I'd fucking be kicking up a stink. Honestly. Honestly. And do you know what people say to me? You need to watch what you say, Stel, on your podcast because you influence a lot of people. So be it. If they're going to treat us like shit, give it back to them, I say. Don't care. Fuck them. And I hear people saying, someone said to me the other day, oh, you know, what you said about the referee was a little bit out of order. And someone said to me, I know who he is. And they said, so what? I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Because if they're going to try shaft us and screw us over because they've got an affiliation or they're aligned with other clubs in this league, fuck them. Fuck them. Do you know what? Let down their tires when they drive to the Yibala. Find out their car.
You can't.
Set it on fire.
They're locked. They're closed in the hangar of Gasibi. You can't do that.
Well, you know, I'm sure there's a way in. Give someone a decaliro or the gate and they'll open the gate and let them in and do what you want.
I want to say something else also because something else that happened.
Fucking mutants.
Because I want fair to be fair. Έβαλαν τον Απόλλωνα, παίζει την πέπτην ο Απόλλωνας σε ευρωπαϊκό παιχνίδι, and they put him again to play on Saturday. Totally unfair. It might suit me as an Omoniadi, but as a football fan, totally unfair. Why am I saying, μπορεί να μου πει τώρα ο άλλος, να μου σε κόφτει να μου κάνουν το Απόλλωνα. Κόφτει με, γιατί άμα το κάνουν το Απόλλωνα, μπορούν να μου το κάνουν και εμένα. And I don't want that. I don't want to play a game on Thursday and then come and play a game on Saturday. Γι' αυτό που με κόφτει.
Ray, do you know in Belgium, right, when the Ghents were meant to play Anderlecht before we played them in the second leg, right? The Belgian FA cancelled that game because Anderlecht and Ghent had a European game and they felt that it was for the benefit of both clubs, for the nation, for the players to be ready for those games. Would GOP do that for the Cypriot teams? Would they do it for us? They wouldn't.
Yeah, they would. They would. And
you think?
I'll tell you why. Because it's a Mestim Brogiriksi for of the championship. I think it's in the Brogiriksi. I'm not sure, but what I know is that if any Cyprus team is one game away from entering a group stage. Then they have the ability to transfer the game they were supposed to play. It didn't happen to us this year because obviously we played the group games before the beginning of the championship.
Well, put it this way. Let me ask you a question then. Let's say hypothetically, our last game in the Europa League is a must-win game to qualify for the next round.
They're not
Do
going
you
to do that.
see?
No,
Of
no,
course not.
no, they won't.
Of course,
And
but
Jame,
if it was another team,
and Jame bunna mas valor na beksumem bepti sábado.
if it was another team, however, I'm just saying, if it was another team,
if it was another team, na beksandin beptin just na beksundin dridi.
Right. Oh, look, here's one. Last year, Omonoia IL got cancelled because both sides were playing a playoff game. Okay, playoff game, yeah. Playoff game to get into the group stages. Fine, cool. To get into the group stages. But if we're talking about a situation whereby one club has got a must-win game and they have to qualify to the next round, would they have cancelled it? Yeah, there you go. What's this? Official line from the league. We have two OBI vans with VAR capabilities, hence the game on Saturday. Well, look, the issue with VAR is a worldwide problem. I mean, out here in the UK, they've changed the VAR technology to make it more accurate. The World Cup, they're going to use semi-assisted VAR, so they're using AI. But again, like, you know, GOP ain't going to spend money on something like that, are they, to update the software unless they need to? So just got to go with what we got at the moment. I mean, don't remember last season, Don Aidi was saying that, I think it was against IL. IL scored a goal, and he said that the VAR was manipulated so that the Olympiacos defender's foot looked longer so that IL would get the goal. It's just...
I'm laughing at Mario. More chance of having two Obi-Wan Kenobis than two Obi-Vans. Yeah. This is not the van you're looking for. We may go about our business and fuck everyone up for the benefit of others.
Exactly. Well, look, let's quickly talk about today's game. We've gone almost an hour. So we've got AEK today. It's going to be a very difficult game, I believe. They're a good team, but again, defensively, I'm not convinced by them. I saw them in the second leg against Dnipro at home, and Dnipro had a lot of the ball in AEK's half, especially first half. I know they were goal down at the time because their goalkeeper made a fucking clanger. But I think AEK are very lethal on the counter. But once again, defensively, I think they can be got at, mate. I really do. Their fullbacks like to get forward, and if we can exploit that space, and their two central defenders, I don't think they're very good on the ball. So if we have someone that can move and create space in that area of the pitch, I think we'll be all right. But we need intensity, man. We need to be intense. We can't, we can't play very conservative. We need to be on the front foot from the first minute and put the pressure on them. Because that's the only way we're going to win games now. We need to start. I don't want to be sitting 10 men behind the ball. If we go a goal up, then fair enough. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think it's going to be a very open game today, and it's going to be a very challenging game for both teams. I think we're going to see a good game. Hopefully, we're going to be on the winning side of it.
What do you think we're going to go with today in terms of a lineup?
Refile, this is a fucking unknown. And Refile, I was talking about it yesterday with some friends of mine, and really, we have no idea. The only idea we have is for the defense line.
Is Fabi fit, by the way? Can he play?
Enixero, Refile. Enixero.
Mate, I don't know, man. Yeah, this probably is it, to be honest. Probably is it 3-5-2, inshallah. I don't know, man. If Fabi isn't fit, I'm very concerned because look, I like Francis, but for me, I still get a bit worried when he plays in goal, man. I don't know.
Omonoia Retro just typed that they say that Fabi is ready. Okay, I hope so. I hope so.
Oh, do we have a Quran Glasses fan here?
Everyone is saying that Fabi is ready.
Welcome.
Okay.
Well, fingers crossed, because we're going to need him. We're going to need him. But listen, I can't look again. No disrespect to Francis, but I'd like to see Giriagidis in goal. If Fabi's not playing, I'd like to see Panayi in goal. Fucking hell, man, Jesus! I don't know, Dimitri, man. I can't be doing this corn first thing in the morning. If Stefano was here topless, I'd accept it. But what do you prefer in defense, Militic Lang or Militic Juste?
Either or. I think both will do the job just fine.
It depends on who we're playing. If we play someone like Abollam, for example, with two physical strikers with pace, I'd have to go Militic and Lang. If we're playing someone like, for example, Agrida, maybe play one up top, I'll be happy with Juste. I get very worried when we play against teams with pacey strikers and Juste's playing. So yeah.
Refile, si fono amane kodo Juste biso, I know that no header from a corner kick is not going to be unchallenged, and I know that entu fefki refile je faya budu da pramada to Juste. That's what I like about it. He might be a bit slow, but refile in high balls, he's uncontested.
Well, look, he's very good on the ball. There's no two ways about it. In terms of, you could tell that he was a central midfielder. You could tell that he played the central midfielder. He's very, very comfortable on the ball. He's very good at passing the ball. Do you know, if he had pace, he'd be one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, that's what I said. The only thing missing for him is a little bit of speed.
And that's the age.
Yeah, and that's the age. That's the age.
And this is why I'm going to take this back. And this is why we should have got Michael back. We should have got him back. We should have moved heaven on earth to bring Michael back. Free transfer, right?
Well, you never know. I think unemployed players, I think, were allowed until the end of the month. Are
you sure? I thought the deadline was yesterday there.
Unemployed.
Can someone clarify that? Yeah, Gary Hooper's unemployed. Can someone clarify? Can we still sign players out of free transfers? Can we? I don't know. I don't know. People talking about Foddy. Do you think Foddy's going to play today?
Non bisogna vexere because we're lacking speed in the center. We're lacking speed with the ball going forward, and I think it's going to be an open field. The ball is going to be moving up and down, and I think we should utilize for the game today.
This is bizarre. People, I think this is So.
Yeah. Okay. On loan from the Cypriot League. Okay. That's okay.
So the loans until the 30th. Okay.
Then it goes until the 30th. Okay.
Okay. Transfers on loan between two Cypriot teams. Well, I can't see us bringing any players in on loan from Cypriot team. No fucking chance. No fucking chance. So yeah, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed with him bringing Michael. I really am, because it's obvious that Juste probably won't be here next season. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be 37.
Yes, that would have been a good deal. That would have been a
to bring in Michael now and give him a few weeks to settle in terms of getting his fitness up or getting used to this team. It would have been a no-brainer. I mean, for fuck's sake, they'd refused to spend $500,000 on him. last year, whenever it was. Now he's available on a free, and they're sitting on their hands. You know, and this is the other thing, and this is the other thing I'm going to say. And I don't want people to read into this too much. But what if shit hits the fan, and in January Lennon leaves? Then what? We're starting again. So we're stuck with players that he's brought in. Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that, man.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, I think Lufner would have been a perfect signing. In all fairness, I don't know if he's gonna join any other club. I haven't read anything. So I don't know. Maybe we might bringing him in January. Yeah, thank you. There's a good one here. Exactly, read my mind. If Matavs doesn't play, does that mean he's not in the coach's plans? Probably. And I think even if he does play, I don't think he's in the coach's plans. From what I understood, he was. I think Larissa were interested in him, and he refused to go because they're not in the Europa League. So, yeah, there you go. Don't forget that we have a second Foddies now. Who's the second Foddy? I don't see Lennon leaving. He's got a 2.4 million contract. So okay. So if we're not in the top 6 or the top 8 or whatever it is, top 7 now, isn't it? No, is it top 6? Because how many? We did this the other day. How many teams? There's 14 teams. If it's top 7, I don't fucking know anymore, man. I'm just tired. I'm just fucking tired. So if we have the same season as we did last summer, yeah, you think they're going to keep him on? Do you think the fans are going to? Because there's going to be fans turning on Lennon, obviously.
Already, we have so many trolls from Omoniades, or supposed to be Omoniades, and etc. Really, is doing my head in.
Should I tell you what I found funny? Should I tell you what I found funny? Right. There was a statement put out the other day from the press team, and they said, the squad is complete. That if the manager wants any other players, we'll bring them in. Blah blah blah. And it was like, oh, hang about. People were saying they're throwing Lennon under the bus now, and I'm like, well, hang about. First of all, Andrea has basically been forced to say these things. A lot of things that he says is because the club tell him to do it. He's only doing his job, so lay off him for a start. Secondly, he said this about Berg last January on Total Green. And again, it was like, yeah, obviously the club have told him to say that, but they're throwing Berg under the bus. And now I get the feeling that the powers that be are trying to cover their back by saying these things. So people can say, oh, well, it's Lennon's decision not to bring. Do you think it was Lennon's decision to bring in Bruno and Militic and Gitsos? I don't think Lennon knew who these players were.
Especially Gitsos, definitely not.
Exactly. So players are being signed under the manager's nose, and obviously he hasn't had much of a say in it because, as we know, Lennon came in. He was only allowed to bring in Gary Parker because the club didn't want to change the stuff that were already there, which is understandable because, as Nigel quite rightly said, and it makes perfect sense, when you bring in a manager and he brings in 10, 15 staff and he leaves, he takes a 10, 15 staff and you're starting again. So again, I understand why the staff are still there, and I'm glad that the staff are still there because they've done an incredible job and they deserve to continue the opportunity to continue that great work. But I think the same goes for bringing in players. They've only let him bring in 3 or 4 of his own. So anyway, we have 2 empty spaces for transfer in January. To make a transfer, must someone leave? Well, maybe they haven't filled in the 2 places because they're saving it for January just in case we need to sign players. So maybe that's a good move. I don't know. Maybe they feel that we've got a strong enough squad to play half a season, and if we need to reevaluate, then we could bring them in. Maybe they'll have enough. Because here you go. Here's the light bulb moment. We don't get the UEFA money or the qualification money till November. Perhaps they'll make another move for Mancini in January because they have the money then. Don't put that out on any press. I'm not going to put it on the shoot defense one. I promise.
It's a rumor. Yeah. It's a thinking.
It's a suggestion. It's a possibility. It's an idea. A possibility.
A possibility.
It's not even a rumor.
It's not even a rumor; it's a
Yeah.
possibility.
So don't put that on any websites. Don't put that on any Facebook post. Don't. Jesus fuck, honestly. Right. I think we're done. We've got nothing else to say.
Nope.
Have we got anything else to discuss? Nothing. Excellent.
No, I think
we've done an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like. If you don't like this pod, then don't like it. If you're still pissed off about the Rogic rumours, don't like it. I've got nothing else to say, really. Thank you, Pedro, for joining me. Thank you for being my regular co-host now, since the others can't obviously be bothered. You know, Chris is in London. He's going to go to the wrestling. My other co-host.
What is he going to be? A water bottle?
No, he's going to watch wrestling. He's going to Cardiff to watch wrestling. He wants to go watch men in tights rolling around.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, we have one empty space we can fill without sending away in January. Okay, so basically, if we need to bring in another... Okay, so we got one space. We sign a player, we're full. That means we need to get rid of a player. So maybe Badadas is going to go in January. Maybe. Start getting people rattled. I've already lost 2 followers on Instagram since making that Rogic thing. I'm pissing people off left, right, and center. Like I said, fuck Androbi, I don't care. I've come to a point. I told you, Goveglia, I don't care. If you look at the recent podcasts, the past few days with Stefano coming on topless, with us talking about, dildos being more effective than Bezos, with the things that I've said in the past few weeks, I've come to the point I don't care. I don't care.
Man, if people get offended by this kind of talk, I wonder what they're doing with some of the publication of the articles or comments that are being thrown about in Facebook and shit like that.
Well, the thing is, they're very smart, these news outlets, because what they do, they'll put out a story, but they won't say who the reporter is or the author is. They won't.
I'm not talking about only stories, but other things also. Θέλω να δω τους κάνουν και τους άλλους unfollow, ότι αγαπούν την Omonoia, trying to harm them.
True. You know, I had the other day, someone said to me, why have we got a sporting director in? I'm like, well, maybe sporting directors don't want to come to the club because they don't want their wives copping off with players, but,
Yeah, you never know. It could happen.
Fuck Androbi, exactly. And that's why I say, fuck Androbi. I've come to the point where I don't care. I will say what I want when I want. I'm not going to bite my tongue anymore because no point. There's no point because other shows, they will have their own opinions, but they won't go close to the bone. I want to get right to that god color. And if it means upsetting people or hurting people's feelings, look, I'm not going to intentionally go out there and be malicious and be a bastard and, try and be one of these people where like, I need to hurt someone's feelings or whatever. If I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. It's not intentional. But if it comes to a point where I'm going to have to be malicious, I'll do it. But that's an eye for an eye, and that's how everyone is. But again, I don't give a shit what I say anymore. I really don't. Before I used to be really, I'd sit on the fence a little bit and try a bit diplomatic and be a bit fair. And yeah, I am being fair. I think I'm being fair. And the thing is, when you have an opinion, you risk being offensive because other people might be offended with your thoughts and your views. And that's there's a video, a comment that I heard the other day. It was that someone said that you've got to risk to have a conversation. You've got to risk being offensive because your views and your opinions will differ to others. But at the same time, these people that you have a conversation with, they need to think the same because they risk offending you. So, just say what you see, man. Don't Andrea, listen, this isn't one of these rants, or this isn't Stel having a meltdown or being like this holier than thou or being some kind of I'm not trying to pontificate. I'm not trying to educate people. I'm not trying to be like this lecturer that's like, oh yeah, you're beneath me. Kind of. It's nothing like that. But when you watch No Choftes, it is literally no Choftes. There's no fucking about. You know, I'm not going to sit on the fence, and Pedro isn't going to sit on the fence. Roy isn't going to do it. Chris isn't going to do it. All right, they'll do it within reason because perhaps they don't want to be too controversial. But that's the culture that's the Cypriot culture. It's always very, you know, you don't want to offend people, and I get it. It's the whole Andrew, but again, fuck Androbi. I don't care. I really don't give a shit. Because if you want to come at me with your thoughts and views on what I've said, I'm more welcome to it. This is why we've got the live chat facility. You know, if you want to say what you want to say it. Okay. Like I said, Mario said something the other day which I weren't too happy about, and I weren't going to put it up on the screen, right? But again, that's his way of trying to be funny. And while some people thought it was offensive, others may have found it funny. This is an open forum, an open platform for everyone to say what they want to say. I don't want people to come on and say, I need to be careful what I say because I don't want to upset certain people. If you're going to say that, then don't even come on and think about saying what you want to say. Be straight with us. Be honest. If you think that I'm being an idiot, say it. I'm not going to be angry with you because that's your opinion. And this is why it's free to talk. It's free to say what you want. There's no Androbi. Androbi does not exist. And by the way, we're getting fuck Androbi t-shirts made. We're getting the design made. Yeah. And do you know what? If you want to buy it, great. If you don't, fine. Whatever. It is what it is. That money that we're going to get from these t-shirts is going to go straight back to the show. We're going to try get more equipment. We might even be able to afford to pay for guests who perhaps want money to come on, because you do get cunts like that these days. Oh, you know, if it's a big name that wants a fee, and we're talking like an astronomical name, I'm going to pay. But if it's just some dickhead that lives around the corner from me that wants a fee, I tend to go suck his mum. Anyway.
Το λοιπόν, κοπέγια, η ώρα 8 απόψε, σιλάκαει.
Pod tomorrow morning, by the way. Pod tomorrow morning.
Pod αύριο το πρωί με το Stel.
Maybe Roy, if he can be bothered.
Maybe Roy, if he's not still lost.
Do you know, he pissed me off to the point. He pissed me off to the point I unfollowed him on social media. He pissed me off. I'm not following Roy anymore. Fuck him.
Fuck Roy.
Fuck Roy.
So I'm gonna start getting ready. My ritual starts at 5, pre-game ritual, and then see you at the game.
Pre-game masturbation, and then you go to the game.
Oh, you know the pre-game ritual. You've seen it. You've seen it.
The ritual, yes. I helped you with that ritual, not the masturbation. The ritual,
not the masturbation one. Yeah.
No, you don't need help with that. I'm pretty sure you're okay handling it. You know, you got Pamela Henderson.
Καταφέρνω τα.
Stefano! He's walking around the house without any clothes on. Yeah, you're a dick out for the lads. Behave yourself. We don't have any women watching anymore. They will stop watching the pod. They'll be watching. We had a whole new t-shirt. Fuck Roy. Yeah. Fuck that guy. So fuck that guy on the front and Roy at the back.
With his face.
Maybe I'll do a 12-minute video announcement. We got a new t-shirt. 12 minutes. Let's go to the printer and video them and interview the CEO of the company that printed it. 12 minutes. Fuck the player announcements. Fucking hell. Jesus. Ade, wrap it up, Pedro. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I did my wrap up. You're finishing it.
No. I want you to do it.
No, I never do. And I'm not going to start now.
Pussy. Right. That's it for another edition of No Choftes. We'll be back tomorrow morning. I don't know exactly what time. Depends on who wants to come on and who wants to say their piece. I mean, for all we know, it might be another fucking catastasi simra, and everyone's going to want to chime in. Or we might get the 3 points, play with the same intensity and aggression as we did against Ghent, and show these motherfuckers where the title belongs. Because I'm telling you this now, win, lose, or draw today, there's going to be ramifications. There's going to be anger. There's going to be intensity. There's going to be... But until next time, And if anyone doesn't like it, you tell them to suck their mum.